Namaste, Pranam, Gita Dhyanam. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Ritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashaadhyayinim Ambatva Manusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim. O Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Arjuna. Ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O Goddess, showerer of the nectar-like knowledge of non-dualism contained in your 18 chapters. O my affectionate mother, destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Krishna Vandana. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devakim Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Son of Vasudeva, slayer of Kansa and Chanur, extreme delight for Mother Devaki, O Lord Krishna, supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. And today we will take up the 20th Shloka, the next teaching of the Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga, the 4th adhyaya of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. In the 19th Shlok that we read last time, Sri Krishna has he has given us a very beautiful instruction as to the person whose doings are free from any planning, any designs, and also free from fruits of action, desire for fruits of action. Such a person, having got the knowledge that has burnt his karma, true knowledge who has burnt his actions, such a person is called as a wise by the sages, and he is the accomplisher of everything. Now, on that particular context, what Sri Ramakrishna has said, Sri Ramakrishna says, my cosmic mother is the real propeller of everything in this world. Everything that is happening in this world is executed by my cosmic mother, my divine mother, my universal mother. Beings are all puppets in her hands. We are just instruments. The ignorant think they are the doers. So Sri Ramakrishna had also given exactly the same advice to his devotees on performing the karma. Be an instrument. Give the entire ownership of the act, of the activity, of the karma to the Lord. He is doing everything. Now, how such a wise man who is established in inaction in action or action in inaction, how does he work? Now Sri Krishna in the 20th verse, 20th Shloka, is going to teach us that aspect. Tyaktvā karma-phalāsaṅgaṁ nitya-tṛipto nirāśhrayaḥ karmaṇyabhipravṛittopi naiva kiñchit karoti saha. Tyaktvā karma-phalāsaṅgaṁ. Karma-phalāsaṅgaṁ is attachment to the fruits of karma. Sangam is attachment to karma-phala, the fruit of action. Tyaktvā, having abandoned the attachment to the fruits of action. Nitya-tṛiptaḥ nirāśhrayaḥ. Nitya-tṛipta, nitya is always. At any given point of time, trupta is contented, satisfied. All the time, he who is contented. And nirāśhrayaḥ, not dependent on any of the external factors. Depending only on the Lord. nitya-tṛipto, nirāśhrayaḥ. Ever contented and not depending on anybody. karmaṇyabhipravṛittah api na eva kiñchit karoti saha. karmaṇyabhipravṛittah. Karmani is in action. Abhipravṛittah, engaged. Api na cha kiñchit karoti. Although he is doing everything, even though he is doing everything, he is not doing kiñchit karoti saha. He is not doing anything. Although appears to be doing, he is not doing anything. Having abundant attachment to the fruits of action, ever content, depending on nothing, though engaged in karma, verily he does not do anything. karmaṇyabhipravṛitto. He might be so much seemed to be doing, so busy doing something, but still, na eva kiñchit karoti sa. He is not doing anything at all. He may appear, he may seem to be so busy, but verily he does not do anything. Real karma yogi. What inaction is not to be gauged with things and affairs external. External appearance can be deceptive. In fact, it is deceptive. You may see a person engaged in so much activity but doing nothing internally. You may be seeing a person doing nothing, but he is so intensely active inside, within. So, what inaction is not to be gauged with things and affairs external. It is truly the state of mind that indicates action and inaction. It is all in here. If I am busy or if I am sitting idle, it all is here in the mind. I don't know if mind is here or here, whatever, but in the body, in the mind, everything is there in the mind. The postman delivers letters containing happy as well as unhappy tidings which affect the addressees. Postman brings letters. Some letters carry good news, some letters carry bad news. Is postman affected by content inside that letter? He doesn't even know, for that matter, what is there inside. It is his duty to give the letter to the addressee. That's all. Is he affected by what is there inside the letter? The addressee will get affected. He may get dejected. He may get overjoyed if it is such a good news. But postman, his duty is to give the letter to the addressee. The wise man similarly engages himself in actions which are all according to him adorations of the Lord, which according to him are all the things of the Lord to be done. That's it. It has come to my lot. It is like it has come to the lot of that postman to deliver the letters. That's it. He is not bothered about if it is a letter is carrying a good news, carrying a bad news, carrying a neither good news nor bad news. He is least worried. He has no desire whatsoever. Unattached that he is ever content. And since the yogi is unattached, because it is all Lord who is getting the work done through him, he is always content. He is happy. He is always satisfied. That with the knowledge that he is doing Lord's work. It is not his work. He is doing the Lord's work. He is always contented. And since it is a Lord's work, he doesn't have to depend on anything. Normally what happens whenever we are working on any projects or any assignments, if something goes wrong, we plan. You know why things go wrong? Because we plan it. We plan it thinking it to be our work. We plan it thinking I am the doer. And that's why we fail. And when we fail, what is our reaction? We try to find out the reasons in the external factors. I have done this project very well, but that person didn't do his work properly. I could have very much given the finished product on time, but the transporter, he delayed supplying the truck. Had he supplied the vehicle on time, I would have done it. You would have got the materials in time. And we start looking for excuses. We start the moment the project fails, the moment any assignment goes wrong. We try to find the excuses because we are depending on so many external factors. And the real karma yogi, he is nirāśhrayaḥ. He doesn't depend on external factors for giving excuses. If a thing is not happening the way it is expected, he takes then the responsibility. Yes, it is my failure. He doesn't start giving excuses. This Tom has not done this. Harry has not done it. This Dick has not done it. No excuses on the external factors. Suddenly it started raining so heavily, the vehicles couldn't move. No. So, this is what Krishna is telling. That the person who knows this, it is the Lord's work. And when we get this conviction, when we are fully convinced that it is the Lord's work, circumstances will automatically start obeying you. It happens. I'm telling you, it happens. And the Lord says it happens. Such a person is not dependent on any external, forces, whether circumstances, people. Such person is always content, satisfied, ever in bliss. He is always happy. So, spiritual discipline is indispensable for the attainment of self-knowledge. We must get into this discipline. Whatever we are doing is the Lord's work. We are just instruments. But the case of men of adamant faith is different. They get at this knowledge very easily. Those who have strong faith, those who have unshakable faith in the Lord, they can really understand. They can gain this knowledge very easily. That this is all Lord's work. I am just an instrument. And on this particular topic, let us read out a story anecdote which was told by Sri Ramakrishna to his devotees. It's a beautiful anecdote which really teaches us how I am not the doer. He is the doer. Mother is the doer. Sri Ramakrishna tells the story of the gopis and sage Vyasa. The gopis returning home once found no boatman to ferry them across the river Yamuna to Vrindavan. For some reason they had gone across Yamuna, and when the time came for them to return home, they couldn't find any boatman, no ferry. Now how to cross this river and reach their homes? Everybody must be waiting for them. Perplexed milkmaids, gopis, presented their plight to sage Vyasa, who had also arrived there just then with the same intent. What had happened? They had gone to that other place across Yamuna for some work, maybe with their all the pots of milk and butter and the delicacies, and now they had to come back At the same time, sage Vyasa also happened to be there. He also had to go to Vrindavan. Now, these gopis, they came to sage Vyasa and said, the perplexed milkmaids presented their plight to sage Vyasa, who had also arrived there just then with the same intent. And they said, "O sage, O Rishi, Muni, we are to cross this river. There is no boatman. What should we do?" Vyasa said, "Don't worry, I have also to cross the river." He said, "Be not worried on this score. I shall lead you all to the other bank. But first give me something to eat to appease my hunger. I am very hungry." Lord Vyasa is telling all these gopis who are carrying in their pots all those delicacies, all the dairy products. Name the dairy product and they have it, the butter and cream and milk and sweetened condensed milk and all the milk preparations, the pidha. So Vyasa told them that feed me. I want to first appease my hunger. Then I will take you across. Cream, butter, condensed milk were all offered to sage Vyasa accordingly. And after eating to his heart's fill, after doing full justice to all those delicacies, Vyasa stood up and implored the river Yamuna. He got up and joining his palms, he implored the river, "O Yamuna Devi, if it is a fact that I am fasting today, stop flowing and make way for us to get to the other bank." And lo and wonder, river Yamuna stopped flowing for that moment. A passage got created between the two water bodies, and Vyasa and gopis, they just walked across from this bank to the other side, the other bank in Vrindavan. When sage Vyasa had prayed to the river, to the Yamuna river, that if it is true that I am hungry today, I am fasting today, I have not had anything. If it is true, then please stop for some time, make way for us so that we can cross the river. We can reach the other bank. And the river did stop. And just imagine, just a few moments back, sage Vyasa had eaten his heart's fill. All the delicacies that those were offered to him by the gopis. And after reaching, gopis then pleaded with the sage to explain the anomaly in his statement that he was fasting. He had fasted the whole day while actually he had feasted upon the delicacies that they had offered to him. And then Vyasa explained. Then Vyasa said, "Look, my dear children, ceaseless hankering of my heart for Lord Krishna is my spiritual fasting. I am yearning to see Lord Krishna. That is my fasting. I am so much eager. I am panting to see Lord Krishna, and that is my fasting. If that fasting is true, then river Yamuna would stop and give me the way." And she stopped and made the way for all of us to cross. So that is how Vyasa related his yearning for Krishna as his fasting. Not just eating up all those sweet meats that the gopis had offered to him. That was an external thing to happen, fine. Internally, gopis could not see his yearning, his pan to be away from Krishna. That was the real fasting. The idea I eat is not allowed to enter the mind. It's not I'm going, the body is eating fine. I'm yearning to see Krishna. I'm just wanting to see Krishna. I'm missing him so much. It is as good as it is my spiritual fasting. Your dishes were all offered as oblation, the maker presiding over in this body. I did not eat anything that you gave me. It was the indweller. It was the indweller who had that desire to eat something which I fed him. I didn't eat anything. So Sri Ramakrishna says, Maharshi Vyasa's life in conformity with truth and his faith in the Almighty worked this miracle. His sincere yearning was the real fasting. His innermost panting, he was so desperate to see Krishna. That yearning, that panting, that longing, that was the real fasting. And because of that, river Yamuna stopped the flow for some time, made way for Vyasa and the gopis to cross over the entire, path of the river and go back to Vrindavan. So that is how the real karma yogi, he works. We may feel he is very active, but he is inactive. We may feel he is totally inactive, but he is so much active internally. He is one with the Lord, he is one with the Mother, and that is the supreme-most activity. Although outwardly he may seem to be sitting idle doing nothing. So that is what Sri Krishna says. That is the third teaching that we have got, having abandoned attachment to the fruits of karma and were content, depending on no one else, not depending on any external dependence, only on the mother. The child depends only on the mother. Like the kitten. Kitten is depending only on the mother wherever she keeps. She will, like Sri Ramakrishna used to give that example. The cat, it may put its kitten somewhere in the hearth, in the ashes of the, the chula. Sometime she may put that kitten on the rosy, bed of the master. Kitten is always contented wherever his mother keeps. And whenever he is in trouble, he will just say, meow, meow. Mother will come and take care, and that's it. He doesn't depend on anything else than the mother. A real karma yogi depends on no other external factors, Lord. So that is Sri Krishna's teaching in this 20th shloka of the Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga, and slowly he is getting us enlightened with this knowledge of karma, this knowledge of activity, with this knowledge of duty, which is going to help us in renouncing the attachment to the fruits of the karma and attachment to the karma also, for that matter, and getting this understanding, I am not the doer. So with that, we complete our today's reading of the 20th shloka of Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ramakrishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Ma. Jai Swami.